Culture has always changed from time to time, from century to century. I believe we are still below average in communicating mental health.
I believe you have break this stigma of men not crying.
So many ideologies are seeping in, and some of it are actually changing some things. I mean, how many Nigerian fathers in 10, 15 years ago would set up a camera and be dancing?
Welcome back to the Unicornboy Radio. It's your host, the Unicornboy Soya, and I'm here with Rashida.
Hi.
Today is different because we're talking about men don't cry. So this episode has actually been on our schedule for like how long? Since like 2023. So I and Tumishe, we talked about it. The audio was bad, so we scrapped it out, saying that we'll talk about it maybe later that year or next year. 2024 came, we still couldn't talk about it and all that. So yeah, like perfect opportunity. Good things happen for for the best. So I met Rashida here, and she's going to lecture us. She's going to teach us a thing or two.
I'm not sure about lecturing, but let's see how it goes.
But yeah, we just want to hear your point of view, what you think about all this. So where this even spun out from? I said 2023 because that was when I did IT, and that was like my first experience with the workspace and all that. So yeah, there was this guy and there was this man. Yeah, he married, I think, the year before. So now, like while I was working that company, we had a child. Yeah. So the thing is, he was off work for about a week. You know, all these pregnancy runs and all that. He needed to get this, he needed to get that, he needed to stay with his wife. Yeah, so exactly. So and that was his first child. So like he's completely new to this. There's no rule book.
Exactly. There's no rule book.
There's no rule book to any of this. So he's completely new and he was just trying to do his best. You get. So yeah, we thank God he gave birth. Everything was everything was all right. Yeah. But the thing now, where this whole thing spun out from is he came to work a week after. Yeah, he came to work a week after, and like obviously everybody congratulate new daddy now. Everybody congratulates you and all that.
Daddy in the office.
Exactly. Everybody congratulates you and all that. But then like I don't know, maybe it was just when I'm like the smallest there now, you get. So like I don't put my mouth in conversation so much, so it just gives me more time to observe. So like I was just observing his countenance and the way he's he's smiling and he's happy and all that, but then like you see that there was something bothering him. Do you get? So I waited for when we were both alone in one of the stores and I asked him like how far now, what's up? Then this guy just broke down in tears.
Wow.
Then he just broke down in tears. And I'm like, I didn't even say anything because at that point I was just shocked. I was like, from where? Like
because that's we must have been an overwhelming feeling for him to have broken down just because you asked how he was doing.
Exactly, like you must have locked up all of that.
So much.
Because when I asked him like how far, like are you okay, what's up? And he just started crying. Bro, a grown man like that crying. So he was just crying. He was like like all this money that people are giving him money and all that, but like that's not really what he wants.
He needs.
Yeah, that's not really what
he needs. The support.
That's not his problem. Money is not. I'm not saying like he's the richest or anything, but like money is not really what he needs right now. So he was saying that that did I know that nobody really knows that the way he was talking to me, like as if we've known each other for years.
For long.
Exactly.
He needed an outlet to express his feelings, his pent up emotions, and that's why it's very important to reach out to men and ask how are you doing. Usually the focus is on the baby, even sometimes the mother feels like she's left out too, and the father has to be the one looking after both the mother and the child. So he does not have much people to look at. Everybody believes that he's a man and he should be able to handle the pressure and the stress.
Exactly.
it
And
doesn't work like
the funny thing
that.
was that he was saying that his wife, like it was a CS, you get.
Oh,
So like he was just going through a
she
lot, and
might be
he was like
incapacitated for a while.
exactly. Said that he was at the verge of losing his wife, losing his baby, all that. And
Her
that these
feelings.
not news you can just tell anybody. You get
Yes, it
exactly.
isn't.
So they just come congratulate, and he just has this need to really start near
That
traumatic
exactly
experience.
that's a
Yeah.
pressure, tension. I'm
So
glad it was able to
exactly. I'm glad to.
release it because it must have been hard on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So generally now, tell me about from your perspective, from your
Okay.
perspective, tell me about the mental health state in Nigeria.
Hmm. I believe we are still below average in communicating mental health, in advocacy for mental health, rather. There's still a lot of ground to cover, but I believe, in comparison to previous years, like 10 years, 5 years back, we are doing a good job at this point. But I think we still need to intensify advocacy because for women, it's coming up
Quite well.
quite well.
Yeah.
For children, it's coming up well too, because at least now we talk about it in schools, teachers are more aware. But for men, I would almost give mental health for men in Nigeria a 10 out of
Wow.
100, because men are grossly marginalized in conversations when it comes to
To
mental health.
mental health.
So people do not even know that mental health involve men. We so much focus on children, adolescents, women than men. We expect there's still this cultural idea or ideology that we men have to suck up a lot.
Sure.
So I think that's one of the major factors hindering mental health advocacy when it comes to
Oh
men.
man. So you said for women and children now, or mental health in general, you said that it has improved across the years. What do you
Yes,
think has changed?
the awareness,
Mm.
the I think a lot has been going on in awareness, creating awareness. There has been private sectors too, non-governmental organizations diving, even workspace companies inviting people to address mental health issues, which were not prevalent in the past. Yes, it was majorly taught in the classroom.
Yeah.
We will talk about we talk about company mental health states, or how do I put it? But in recent times, it has transcended beyond um, just organizations just talking about the classroom learning.
Just having
We are now
seminars about it.
seeing
Yeah.
exactly seminars about its impact. Is actually moving forward.
Yeah. I can even see that. Like, they a lot more. I don't know whether it's the, I don't want to say Gen Zs now, or like, there's just a general awareness about it now.
There is.
Yeah. And well, people are not willing to accept it too, because they feel like people use my mental health, my this one is as an excuse.
Yes.
As an excuse to
that
get out of
that is
some things.
another topic entirely that I think needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
I have seen people that try to use mental health as an escape to doing what they are supposed to do, but at the same time, we would not undermine people that actually have mental health issues, will not undermine the impact of being incapacitated or being unable to do some things for people that genuinely have mental health issues. But well, let's see how it goes, and we hope that it gets better in
I hope
Nigeria.
so. I hope so. So let's drive back to men. Yeah. So what, talking from my perspective now, from the guy's perspective, I
Mhm.
mean, like, other than the fact that we already have this, will I call it, this symbolic representation of how we should behave.
Strength.
Yeah, yeah. This representation of how guys should behave, why we shouldn't, why we shouldn't cry, why we shouldn't talk about our feelings, why we shouldn't this thing, all of that.
Expressive
Yeah, express ourselves. So, like, quite frankly, I've been trying to know where all this thing is rooted from. Do you get?
culture.
Yeah, like culture, Nigerian culture, or like, because
Culture,
even yeah,
religion,
hmm,
those are strong
influences.
points,
Yeah,
influences that in religion, both Islam and Christianity, that I know men are expected to be protectors.
yeah,
So naturally, the need for strength falls on the man.
yeah, most definitely.
So culturally, it's still, in fact, it levels up culturally because as a man, you are not expected. Let me speak for Yoruba culture now. You are not expected to react in certain ways
Okay.
to disaster. You hear things like shebi occurring when things happen
Mm.
and women are crying. You see men being told, shebi occurring, no, kò yẹ kó bara jẹ́ báyẹn. Like, let me interpret for the non-Yoruba speakers. You
Yeah.
have to act like a man. You are not supposed to act like that. So it has been, imagine a child, even when children play and they injure themselves, you will hear people tell their children that you're a boy, you should not cry like that. So it is very culturally embedded in how we address children. So from a boy, that's a form of conditioning.
Mhm.
Since childhood is being told that you don't cry as a boy, you act like
Strong.
a strong boy.
Strong
So
man.
when he becomes a man, it is very difficult to express some certain
Mm.
emotions, which crying is one of it.
Yeah, but like this is funny because like strength and expressing feelings, how are they mutually exclusive? Like how are they how are they different from
That would have to be
bro?
defined by the culture.
It's just funny because like most of the strong people I know,
Mhm.
they're able to, I won't say they will, okay, they don't overreact, but like they're able to interpret or express their feelings duly
Because they
noted.
have
Yeah.
emotional intelligence.
Mm. True, 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 true. But like there, and if you are looking at it frankly, there's really no way to like how do you start how do you start attacking the status quo? How do you start changing the culture?
I do not. I think you should start from the home. The home is the primary unit of the society. So
Okay.
when we communicate with the parents, we tell them, even as a boy, let him express himself, let him cry. There are ways to build strength that are
Oh,
different from telling him not to be emotionally expressive. Yes, some parents would be like, ah, but would he be would he be a strong boy? Would he not be a crybaby? So family is the primary unit of the society. So I believe that we have to start our enlightenment, our advocacy from the family. Let the parents know that there are other ways to express strength than not crying. Is a boy. Is allowed to feel pain. Is allowed to be expressive of how he feels too. So I believe from there, if we can change the idea from them, then we change the society. Culture has always changed from time to time, from century to century. So I do not believe that it can be changed with us.
that's very true. That's very true. So in terms of this like fatherhood now, because
Yes.
I mean if you're changing the boy, there's
Mm-hmm.
only so much you can do by saying, behave like this, behave like that. But like
Mm-hmm.
the boy will definitely look up to somebody. And who is the
Yes.
first model?
The father,
Exactly.
the
He
parent.
always look at someone that looks just like him. You get.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that maybe he might get how to learn how to love, learn how to
Yes.
be compassionate from the mother. You look
Mm-hmm.
up to father in terms of how to behave, probably.
Yes.
So yeah, like he's going to that's his template. You get the father is the template, and I feel like um here in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
with us fathers, I don't say us fathers, I'm a father, but our fathers have sort of created this how will I put it now? They just don't do certain things, or their behavior has bred this stigma of men not crying or something like that.
Because they were raised upon
Yeah,
such
true.
too.
Like cycle of events. Yeah,
Yes.
cycle of events. So things like the father not saying I love you, like little things. Like the father not saying I love you, or um
I love you is even far. As he hugged his child. Let's
exactly.
start from
Let's
there.
even start from there. Like and I'm sure like people watching this now, like you can definitely,
They can relate.
bro, they can relate. They can
They
relate
can
because
relate.
like how many fathers do you see out there hugging their child? Oh, I mean, they have different people have their way of interpreting or showing,
Expressing love.
expressing love. But
Yes.
I mean, I feel like these things should be
They
fundamental.
still even try to do it with the girl child.
Yeah, they do.
For the boy, it's the other way
Nothing,
around.
nothing for you. So yeah, like I feel like these things should be embedded also in the culture. It's not just my son, tap on the back, thumbs up.
It
Like do more,
can.
yes.
It can be embedded, it can be embedded in the culture,
Yeah.
but it has to start from one generation. Our fathers, they probably cannot be changed at this point. They are at the mid of their life. Yes, they can try to express themselves in a more loving way.
Mhm.
At least some of them have outgrown some attitudes
Periods.
of the
Yeah.
past. Some of them have started hugging their children. At
Yeah.
least with the trends on TikTok now, you see fathers
True.
doing a lot
Exactly.
with their children. But
Exactly.
even if you see the trend, you see that it's more with the girl child. But at least they are trying. If they can try in their generation, I think we can do better with
Yeah.
ours.
The future, the coming generation,
Exactly, the coming
it gets better.
generation, it gets better
Yeah.
from there. Because we are the culture, to be very honest. It is the people, it is what we embed in ourselves and what we express that becomes the culture.
Mm.
So if they've done their part and well, we appreciate them for what they've done, then I believe it gets better from us,
Wow. That's true.
the new generation fathers.
That's
We
true.
have to do things differently.
I'm
I say
better.
we and better
Yeah.
because okay, hopefully when I become a parent too, and females too, it comes from the mothers too, because even some mothers abuse this idea of no, a boy child should not express himself in some certain way. So if it changes with the mother and the father also, so this modeling has to come with the father identifying what the previous generation, what they did wrong, and getting better from there. It can only get better
Only
because
has to.
the current generation has to understand that there are some things that their fathers did that were not great. If we start from that acceptance, then we can move forward to getting better from there.
Okay. Like what we need to even focus on now is knowing what is right and what is wrong. To now even progress.
From
Yeah.
there, exactly.
Progress from there. And then you also talked about the whole like culture thing,
Yes.
staying, yeah.
Ah,
Cause
so many is deep rooted in culture.
yeah.
Mm,
And then like you can even see that in the way they handle situations. Do you
yes,
get like you can see maybe a family doesn't really have money. Yeah,
yes.
they don't really have money, and then like all money is even out of it. Let's say so maybe for instance, the father's mother died now. That's
Okay, the
something, yeah,
grandma.
like the grandma now.
Yes.
And like I'm seeing from the child's perspective now, the child's grandmother,
Mhm.
and obviously there's a very intimate connection between the mother and the child
Yes.
and the father.
Yes.
Yeah. So like seeing the guy, like now let's look at it from the child's perspective. The child will look at his father and seeing that he's putting on this whole bravado and the mask and everything. And then he will feel like these are the right way to behave. You get
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that maybe like in his room. It's only the wife that will know now. You get to like
Yes.
not knowing that in his room, his wife that is comforting him while he's crying or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But like the notion has already been there, like it has already been shown to the child.
That's
That's what the child is
yes.
going to
You'll
believe. He
cry
doesn't
in,
know.
in
Yeah,
public.
yeah. He doesn't know. He, the child might even see that he doesn't even cry at all because he might not even know that he goes inside and does it.
Yes,
Yeah,
many people have never even seen their parents or their
exactly.
father cry before.
Exactly. So I feel like now us that are enlightened or like we've seen the light, I feel
Yes.
like we need to put more efforts.
We're hoping
Yeah,
that many more people would embrace vulnerability
yeah, yeah.
with
Because
masculinity because masculine vulnerability is almost non-existent in our culture
for because
with our cultural values.
even this whole toxic masculinity, I
Mm-hmm.
still haven't wrapped my head around all of that to be honest. But then I guess it's something we have to build up to or build.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah,
And noting that it's not all aspects of our cultural values that is negative. In fact, we have many things that are positive in our embedded in our culture. It's
true.
just that there are some points that we have to just tweak to
Gray
make
areas.
things exactly gray areas to make things better. There are
Yeah.
so many beautiful things embedded in our
I mean, if they were not built for effective, they wouldn't have lasted for this long.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
It lasted for a reason.
so yeah. I also feel like would I say social media has also
Hmm.
built this type of expectation you
Yes,
get in male, even females too. So I feel like that also plays a role in how people behave. You get
yes.
like you come to Rome, you behave like the Romans now. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
So many ideologies are
yeah.
seeping in, and some of it are actually changing some things that. I mean, how many Nigerian fathers in 10, 15 years ago would set up a camera and be dancing with with their child?
Exactly,
Or how many
exactly.
Nigerian father would you sit down and say, Daddy, I want to create this content, or I'm trying to audition for an interview, and
That
all
has to
those
be a
content
content
ideas. Exactly,
creator.
I want to be a content creator, but things have changed.
Yeah, things
Even
have
fathers, parents generally are getting involved in with their children, creating content,
very
and
true.
it's a beautiful thing to see that at least fathers are interacting with their children, and we
Yeah,
hope to see more of
they are
those.
finding that common ground.
Exact common ground. We hope
Yeah,
to see more of those.
exactly. Instances where we see like maybe I'm very active on Twitter, so we see all these expectations like as a man. I know some of it might just be so
My cruise.
yeah, some of it might just be banter, but like I feel like in everything you say or in everything you type, these are your digital footprints, obviously. So
Mm-hmm.
in everything there's a sense of truth to it. You get like there's like
True,
your truth to it.
truthfully.
I'm not saying it might be
Mm-hmm.
generally acceptable, like you believe it for you to be able to type it down. Take that effort to type it down, use the data you bought to now
Mm-hmm.
send it.
Plus, if you continually type something in, if you continually tell yourself something, at some point you will believe it.
Exactly.
Even if it is not the truth, at some point you
Exactly.
start to believe it.
Self deceit.
And it's all deceit. But I believe the people that tweet some of those things,
Yeah.
it also applies to the female gender too in a way. The
Mm,
people that tweet some of these things, sometimes it comes from a place of pain, or it comes from a place of negative experience. But instead of healing from those experiences, people tend to just bring out those ideologies and believe that everyone from a particular gender is like that. And that is so much of an hasty generalization.
I'm not going
They
to lie.
exactly
It's
there will
true.
always be good people, there will always be bad people in different cultures, religions, gender. So you have to just be able to like link up with the good people and maintain your own self, maintain being good, being true to yourself. Because yes, you meet a lot of people along, and that is just the personality difference, the background difference. There are a lot of different individual differences, but I still believe that some of those ideologies need to be changed, need to be pushed back because Social media is, I love to call it a global village. Because
Valid, very
exactly,
valid.
because at the end of the day, whatever you put online, somebody somewhere might be a younger person or someone that looks up to you as an older person, or how do I put it, a mentor,
Yeah,
would just take everything you put out, hook, line, and
and
sinker.
sinker.
No filter, nothing,
Yeah,
no like, no
no
introspection at
second
the
guessing yourself.
various
Yeah,
least. To think, "Ah, why should I behave like this? I have not experienced what this person has probably gone through to make them into, to shape them into whatever it is they are."
yeah.
But they just take it like that and run with it. Although, yes, as time goes on, life sometimes shake people out of
These
those
things.
illusions,
Yeah,
but it's something to address. Is one of the negative impacts of the
the
internet
internet. Yeah.
at large. One of the
So
negative.
we have this show here where we make a link. Yeah, we call it beta rants. Yeah,
Okay.
so we make a link and then we send it out, like just disperse it into
Mm-hmm.
the world. We send it on Telegram, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp. Yeah, so our friends, family, them, they send it to their own friends. So like it just circulates like that. So what we do here is we send this link. We
Mm-hmm.
so the link usually just has a title. So we tell them, tell us about your most traumatic experience, things like that, or tell us about your worst breakup experience or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just has like a general topic to
Okay.
it, so you can know where to start writing from. You can know where to
Oh,
start writing from. So yeah,
well.
like across the years, like so far I've been doing this, I've been seeing a lot of guys, and that's surprising because um, I would expect females to do more of this because like they are more open to tell us about.
Ranting.
Yeah.
Females have depth of friendship. Let me put it like that. People have friends that they rant to. Yeah,
Okay.
if there's one thing I've noticed about males is that they have friends. Well, not many people have those friends that they can share their deepest fears with.
True.
So it's just the surface level friendship, guy,
Guy.
but nothing that deep.
Yeah.
So if they, well, males might need this more,
Yeah.
especially when it is anonymous. Like
It is anonymous.
nobody knows.
It is
Um,
anonymous. So
but
yeah, like so it's anonymous
mhm,
and like I was surprised the first time I did it. Obviously by the message you can tell if it's a guy or a girl, but like sometimes you can't, but
mhm,
mostly
you
is
can
yeah
tell
you
if it's
can.
enough.
So we noticed that most of it were guys and I was like, like what's going on, like this is
People have had painful experiences that they've not shared.
this is
So
not
you can
normal. Yeah,
understand why they will take it out on Twitter or on
true,
TikTok
true,
or
true.
Instagram. So,
Yeah, like so like I just want to encourage guys to
mhm,
go for it. Like if you find someone you can talk to, find someone you can open up to, find someone you can, share those feelings that you lock up. Yeah, and talk to them. Talk to them. So I mean I would suggest therapy, like, but I don't know how effective that is here.
therapy is very important,
Mm,
but quite expensive in Nigeria. So it will take, well, for some people can actually afford it,
afford it.
and
Mm,
some people will go for it. But I know that there are some organizations that offer phone services,
mm.
although it might not be like a wholesome therapy, but at least it can give a step-to-step guide as how the person can help
You mean
themselves
like all those suicide
get,
prevention?
yes.
Okay.
And for some people it's not even suicide prevention, it's just like some mental health, I mean NGOs focused on mental health. They have those 24 hours open line where you can just talk to a professional,
Wow.
so you can just pick up your phone and be like, this is what I'm going through, and they'll give you like step to step guide as
Okay.
to how you can help yourself.
Wow, that's actually nice.
So there are some, but we hope that such will get better. Like there are such things would be available in different organizations so that people can just call, express themselves, and without the feeling of getting judged. because of course it's a professional that is on the other line. They will
Yeah,
not be judging you. They will
exactly.
just
Now,
listen to you and give you steps as
sometimes people
to
just want someone to listen. For real.
exactly
They just want someone to listen.
listen. So they will
Yeah.
be able to guide. Therapy is a very good thing. It's healing, but many people will feel like, are you saying I'm crazy? There are so many misconceptions around therapy.
Yeah.
No, you are not
They say you're
crazy.
mad now.
Exactly. You just need somebody to talk to. And it only makes you human. It only makes you human. So just talk to someone, talk to a professional, and you'll be fine. You'll be all right.
You so thank you very much. Thank you very much for this.
Thank
This
you
was
for
actually very
having me.
this was very amazing. Yeah. So if you guys want to check out you guys can check out Bitter Rants on anywhere you listen to your podcast under the Unicornboy radio. I think we have about I think like 7 of those. Bitter Rounds 1, 2, IT edition 1, 2, and there's trauma dumping and all of that. So yeah, you guys should just check out Bitter Rounds. I think it's more inclined to what we are saying here. And then you guys listen to Unicorn Boy Radio, follow us on all platforms. Also YouTube, subscribe, like, share.
Very important.
Very important. So do you want to plug yourself?
What should I
You can
say?
tell us who you are, your name,
Okay,
again, and
my
your
name is
Instagram handle.
Lawal Rashidat. Like I said earlier, I'm a mental health advocate. My Instagram handle Rashidat714 RASHEEDAT 714. So
Yeah, that's it.
thank
Thank you.
you.